So there is something that I've been wanting to speak with you guys about, with my audience about, for quite some time now, and I've never really addressed it largely, though I'm super open about my past and my present and what I share with you guys on here, just my life in general. But there's something that, yeah, I've never really spoken about before, and it would be way too long to write just an average post. So I wanted to come on here and chat to you guys about my relationship with food and how that has blossomed over the past like 6 years, I'd say. So when I was growing up and as a teenager, I definitely used food as an emotional mechanism, as I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to that. I think we all do it at some points in our life. But as I went from teenagehood into young adulthood, I suppose, I used food and alcohol as a way to kind of dull the rest of my senses, because I wasn't getting what I wanted. I wasn't living the life that I wanted. I was in a job that I didn't want to work in. I knew that there was a better way to be, but I didn't know how to get to that. I wasn't surrounded by people that were doing the things that I wanted to do, and so I felt really stuck. And so in that, I would use these habits that I had learnt from childhood through to teenagehood through to a girl in my young 20s, and I would emotionally eat. I'd eat takeout every night. I'd take home a bar of chocolate, like dairy chocolate, and I'd finish it within 20 minutes lying in my bed watching TV or watching a movie. And then I would go out and I would drink and I would take drugs, and then to combat that I wouldn't eat for like 3 days straight. And then after not eating for 3 days straight, I would again go with the takeout and the french fries and the chocolate and the lollies. And even though within that I was trying so hard to find my health, and I would get what I thought was healthy takeout, things like sushi or salads, and I would get organic chocolate even and stuff like that, I still was not thriving at all. And I knew that there was a better way for my body to thrive and to be, as well as my emotional well-being. Again, I feel like this is something that we can all relate to, at least at some point in our lives, because I feel like we've all been there, and as we grow we learn. And so that was kind of the foundation of what I was like when I was a child and a teenager, and how that went with my personal development, my personal growth. There wasn't a lot of personal growth, even there was little bits here and there, obviously. I wasn't breaking free from what I wanted to break free from, and so I wasn't bringing forth the life that I really knew was abundantly available to me. After I finished school, I traveled for a few years, and then when I came back to Australia, this was at the point where I was drinking heaps of alcohol and eating all the takeout, and I wasn't really aligning with what was going on in my life, and all I desired was to travel more. I just wanted to get out there, and I had this vision of going and being this like dirty hippie, I suppose, sticking my thumb out on the side of the road with my backpack on, hitchhiking through countries and learning from people off of their land, going and working on farms, like alternative farms. I don't know if you guys have heard of woofing before. But anyway, I had this dream, and so I got a job again, and I started working, and I started kind of taking better care of my health. I was also realizing that a lot of men were interested in me at this time, and so that kind of grew my desire. It's such a silly thing, but at that time that grew my desire for me to be healthier and to kind of take care of my body more. I started drinking less and yeah, just eating healthier foods, even though I was still quite stuck in where I was. Then I booked a flight. When I finally left, that was when things really started to change for me. I hitchhiked my way across America, and as a part of that I was working away on farms. So I would stay on these alternative farms. I would help with planting seeds or building certain things that they had going on around their house, around their community. And when I went to these farms, I started learning a lot about the female body, about my period, about birth and babies and relationships and food. And I was just seeing how abundant these people were, how they were living and how vibrant they were, and the incredible foods that they were eating. Little did I know back then, before I was vegan, that these people were predominantly plant-based and they ate off their land. It was such an incredible experience for me. And that's when my health really started to change, when I started taking notice of my cycle and I started taking notice of the foods that I was putting into my body. So then when I came back to Australia, shortly after that trip where I'd been gone for like 8 months, I met Zach in this little country town, and we started talking about the abundant lifestyle that we both wanted to live and that we were both working towards, and we just completely aligned with each other. And so us meeting was also another form of me going through more self-care and more self-love, and kind of finding it with someone else. I feel like emotional eating comes from a lack of self-love and self-care. I think that there's a certain amount of emotional eating that you can do that's natural and normal, like when you get home and you've had a hard day at work, or your kids have been screaming all day, or you've got your period or whatever it is, and you sit down and you eat half a block of chocolate and some ice cream. Like, that's cool, and you do that once a month or something like that. I feel like there is definitely space for emotional eating, but when it gets out of hand is when people get sick, or people are unhappy, or people don't feel abundant. And that is what I was back, many years ago. And so I think a huge part of finding what works for you and your body within food is also finding self-love, self-worth, self-care, all those things, and incorporating that into your life, and also working towards where you want to go in your life and what you want to manifest. And so with all that being said, when I was a teenager and I was in my early 20s, I would have loved to have had a resource that I could have turned to for meal plans, or for healthy eating, for self-love, self-care practices that I could have looked at and turned to and been like, this is what I'm going to do today. Because I would have loved to be able to have turned on my laptop or looked inside a book and been able to just go through what I could do on that day to help me better myself. This leads me to talking about the vegan bundle. A lot of you guys may remember that I was talking about the vegan bundle a few weeks ago, about a month ago. And the vegan bundle is something hosted by the Bundle Co, where basically they have done exactly that. They've gotten 90 resources, 90 ebooks, and they've put them all together in a special bundle for you guys. When the Vegan Bundle Co launched last month, it had 60 ebooks for $50 available as a part of this bundle. They've added 30 more ebooks onto this, and these ebooks range from health and wellness to plant-based recipes to self-love and self-care practices, journaling prompts. There's things on there about minimalism, Botox living. Seriously, it is such an incredible resource, and when I look over this resource now, I realize how much it could have helped me back then, and how much it's helping me right now. We've had the bundle available to me, both me and Zach, on our laptop for the past month, and it has helped us immensely. More specifically me, going through the end of this pregnancy and feeling just lost with what to eat and how to nourish myself. But it has helped Zach a lot as well, because he's excited to get back into the kitchen and get cooking. And every day we're like, oh, what are we going to cook today? What are we going to make? Whose ebook are we going to look through? For $50, you get 90 ebooks. If you were to buy these ebooks individually, you would be looking at a total price of over 2,000 Australian dollars. And you get all of them for around 65 to 70 Australian dollars. Within this special offer, you get over 3,000 plant-based recipes. And don't be fooled in thinking that this is just for someone who eats vegan or eats plant-based. This is for everyone who wants to benefit their health and their wellness and get on top of that and start following in these prompts of better self-care and better self-love. I'm actually an affiliate for the Bundle Co, and so if you purchase the vegan bundle through my link, then you actually help to benefit me and my family, because I get some of that commission. So as well as me being able to offer you guys something which feels so right and so wholesome to me, and for me to do that for you, I also benefit in doing that. And I can't tell you how many people have messaged me over the past year asking how they can support me and my family. This is such an incredible way to do that, as well as supporting your own well-being. So for the next 5 days, the link is going to be in my bio on Instagram, and I'm going to be sharing stories throughout the week and a video on YouTube showing you all the recipes that we use throughout the week from the bundle, and all of the prompts that I use from all the different self-care and self-love books. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, if you have any questions, please just message me. I'd absolutely love to answer them for you. This honestly just gets me so excited and makes me feel so good that I can offer you guys something as amazing as this. I love you guys so much, and yeah, let me know if you purchase.